So who is Tiffany and who is Christina?
I'm Tiffany. She's Christina.
Christina,
Okay,
yep.
perfect. Yeah, no, thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate you doing this interview with me. So, really, the whole point is I just want to learn more about your business, kind of your story, how you got started. I saw the message you guys sent me. Definitely an interesting start, which
Yes.
is cool, a little unconventional. So, can you tell me a little bit
Mhm.
about that? Like, what made you just start from the beginning? Like, you moved. Why did you decide to start?
I'll let you go.
Okay, so originally we lived in Arizona
Hmm.
for about 10 years. And I did auto adjusting um, for about 7 of that. And we moved to California to help family. And when I transferred here, I wasn't able to keep my job, unfortunately, and I wasn't able to find a new one in the industry. So I decided, after some months of struggling and my mental health wasn't the greatest and so forth, I had experience doing lawn care with a friend of mine. And so that's what I decided to do and started the business. And um, that was in October, and here we are today.
Wow. So had you done landscaping in the past, or was this just oh,
Yeah,
so
I did it probably 10 years ago with a friend, maybe a
mhm,
little bit longer than that with a friend of mine. We ran a business together, and we went different ways, and I, you know, did other jobs and so forth.
mhm.
Um, but growing up, I always did landscaping. My dad was in the Navy, and so when he was gone, I would maintain the lawns and do the sprinklers and plant seeds and
Mhm.
trim bushes and so forth. So I kind of learned just by self-taught.
Gotcha. Actually, my partner
Mhm.
Scott, same exact way when we started this business. He had just done it his whole life. He took care of three of his family
Yeah,
properties, so came naturally.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. And how about you, Tiffany? So how did you where are you on this journey? Like how do you fit in? Nope. I think we froze up there. Could you guys hear me?
So I'm more of the moral support. Can you hear us?
Hmm.
Uh-oh. You can hear us?
I can hear you now. It froze up though for a second.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Sorry about that. Um, so the way I fit in is I'm more of just the background.
Not just the, you're very important.
I do like the business office, the sending the estimates and the invoices and doing all of that for her while she goes and does all the hard work. I maintain my own. I have a full-time job
Hmm.
as well, so I do that
She comes to some of the jobs as well and helps me.
Hmm.
when I can.
If they're big jobs, where sometimes I need a little bit of help, she'll come. So
And how was
nice.
that juggling the full-time job and helping with the business, Tiffany?
It's not bad. My full-time job, I start at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm off at 1:30.
Hmm.
So it gives me the rest of the day to do pretty much anything. And it helps too because it's still early enough that most places are open.
Yeah. Wow. So, and you said you started, when was October? Was when you opened?
Yes.
Yeah, October.
Cool. So
Yep.
what's it been like since October to now?
So I started out with one client. She was elderly. And I slowly, got her neighbor. And then from there, I started advertising on Facebook.
Hmm.
And I now have 25 clients.
Hmm.
One is commercial. Um, I have gained so much as far as my mental health goes. Sorry, the dogs behind us are playing. Um, I've gained so much mental health wise. as far as my confidence back,
Mhm.
as far as just like learning new things about the job too, like every day I see a new plant that I've never seen before, so I research it. Um, I've learned so much about owning a business. Can you hear us okay too, by the way?
Oh yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you guys
Okay,
Okay,
hear?
good.
okay.
Okay.
I've learned so much about owning a business as well, and yeah, we're good. I've learned a lot about owning a business and the legalities of it as well. And process of day one till now, 4 months now, I guess it's been.
Mhm.
I've gotten so many compliments from clients, and it's nice to hear. I started with no confidence, and now I go in there with a lot of confidence. So it's been a nice journey
Mhm.
from the beginning till now, and I'm really, really enjoying it.
So I heard you mention your mental health has just had such a big improvement doing it. What do you think is the big what is it about this? Because I hear that a lot. Like something I hear a
Yeah.
lot about this industry is people will come in it from not doing anything like it, and they say it
Hmm.
was just something about it gives you a sense of pride. It makes you, finally feel confident. It just feels
Hmm.
right for some people. Like what was it for you?
Well, I mean, I did 9 to 5 jobs. Nothing wrong with those. I don't bash them, but I did 9 to 5 jobs behind a desk. Um, I I was good at what I did. Um, but I had no real drive every day. Um, doing lawn care, I get to go out into nature. I don't have people yelling at me. I'm my own boss. Because when I was an auto adjuster for 7 years, that's all people did. They crash their cars, they yell at me. So, but now it's like, if I kill a plant, the plant's not gonna yell at me, my client might, but I'm not getting yelled at every day, and
Mhm.
that feels good. Um, I love being out in nature, in the sunlight. The vitamin D is great. The self-confidence, like I said before, just showing up to a yard and it being a hot mess
Mhm.
and then leaving and it's beautiful,
Transformed.
transformed, and the clients are just amazed by it. So um, that's what keeps me going every day and what has made me really grateful for starting the business and pursuing this industry, to be honest. I think it was a great thing.
I love that. And what is if you could have the exact business you want in 5 years? Say you did everything right, everything that you need to do. What would that look like in 5
Mhm.
years?
So in 5 years, I think I would like to have mainly commercial clients. Um, I would like to potentially have a few employees, maybe like one or two. And it's not so much that I don't want to have employees because of the money, it's more of because of
The work.
um, I am very I stand behind my work. So I want somebody to have that same um, work ethic.
Mhm.
So that's why it's been hard for me to have that. But anyways, I want to have employees. Um, I would like to basically have a revenue every month that is successful, and um I mean it's endless right now, but that those are my main focuses right now,
Mhm.
is employees, commercial, because right now I'm just residential with one commercial. So,
Yep. Okay.
and I
And
I need to get some more equipment as well.
and I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but what does it look like for you then in 5 years, Tiffany? What is whether you're in it or not in it, like what does 5 years from now, everything went well, look like for you?
Most important for me is her mental health. I've watched the struggle from not feeling like she's worth anything to feeling grateful and happy and wanting to go to work every single day. And for me, that's the most important thing is
Oh, sorry, it froze up for a second there.
I figured.
Yeah, we're on opposite. I'm in Massachusetts, so I think that's why there's such a delay right now because we're on opposite sides of the country right
Yeah.
now. Cool. So, what do you think are the biggest hurdles you're facing in your business right now?
I would say the weeds. Um, weeds are, I mean,
The amount of rain we've gotten
yeah,
just in the last like 2 or 3 weeks has been enough to end the drought for the state of California for years. And so the weeds are growing, of course, with that.
Yep.
which is a good thing, you know.
Mhm.
It brings business and so forth. But I would also say, you know, living in California, it's very hard to um get your business started. You know, it's kind of a known thing. If you start a business in California, it's going to take a while to be profitable. And I think right now, you know, we are in that phase where we are just at the beginning. So, you know, it's we didn't have much when we started. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're still trying to build up our business and um other than that, there's not much of a hurdle. I mean, every day I go out there, I try and have that positive mindset of I get to do this type of thing. Um, because I'm very grateful. But those are my biggest hurdles, I would say right now.
Cool. What do you guys think is going really well right now? Like, what do you think is just your strength right now?
I would like you to say
I
that
think
one
so
first.
right now, what's going really well for her is the marketing. And I think when she first started, we weren't really sure what was going to happen. It was either going to do really well or it was going to be really slow to start. But what we're noticing, and I think is wonderful, is ever since COVID and everybody started working from home, is a lot of females actually have said that they feel more comfortable. A lot of the females and elderly feel more comfortable with another female being at their house while they're home alone. And I was like, wow, like I never really thought of that. But just to hear it is like, whoa, we're really onto something here, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome. And obviously, you know, you guys are females in a super male dominated field. What's that like? Like,
Right.
what do you feel like is the day-to-day stigma? What do you think are there any hurdles you face with that?
You know, so far the biggest, the funniest hurdle that I faced was this female reached out to me and she said she wanted me to move some rock or something.
Yep.
And the job was just too big for me, like this square footage, I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's okay, I understand a lot of females can't do it. And I'm like, it's not that I can't do it, because I can move rock. It's just that I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, I feel like being a female in this male dominant industry has benefited me more than it hasn't. Because like she said, women and men even trust females to know what they're doing for some reason.
Yeah.
I get it, but but you know, so it's very too. I mean, you know, I because I'm not a pro per se at my job
Uh-huh.
the way I want to be, but you know, my clients see me as that person. And so as a female too, it's I don't know. We have a stigma we have to live up to.
So would you
So,
say in a
but
way
anyways, yeah.
it's kind of a strength that because you're a female in the industry, people just assume like, oh, she must know what's going on.
You must know. Yeah.
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 Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what I've gathered. Because they naturally tell me, oh, well, the last gardener, he was a guy, he was lazy. I'd catch him, peeing in the corner, and
Mhm.
you're a girl, you can't do that. And I'm like, you're right, I can't, but but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they just naturally think of me as a,
Mhm.
a trustworthy standout person because I'm a female. Or at least I don't know if it's my personality or
Mhm.
what, but but
It's
yeah,
funny
that's kind of the
because
general vibe I get from people.
we've hired a couple females here at the company, and one of our top performers right now is a girl. Her name is Jay Valise. She goes by Yaya. And I
Mhm,
still remember
mhm,
when she started
mhm.
because I don't think she had done any landscaping before, or if she had, it was very minimal, maybe around the house. She probably weighs 100 pounds soaking wet,
Mhm.
very skinny, but we put her out with the Mo team leader, and the Mo team leader said he has never seen someone pick up mowing so quickly in his life. And he's trained a couple people. And our
I love
general manager,
it.
Scott, even he went out to the job site just to go see them that day. And he said day one, he was watching her
Mhm.
and just did not miss a spot weed whacking, which, if you have ever trained someone weed
I love
whacking,
it.
it takes like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It does. There's a lot of little cracks that you can miss,
Oh,
and
yeah.
trees,
It's
and
an art.
yeah, it's just like a haircut, If you
Yeah.
mess around the ears, you could really make someone mad.
Yeah. So
So,
what would you say? What would be your advice for companies who want to hire more females who can definitely do the job but may be intimidated by the fact that, it's landscaping, it's kind of like a guy kind of industry. Like how can we attract more females to want to work at our companies?
um,
Females are sometimes stronger than men,
mhm,
mentally and physically.
Hmm.
Um, and I know that for a lot of people that they see a man and they're like, "Oh, you're strong," but they forget that females have this stigma that they have to live up to, and they have to be strong,
Hmm.
and they will get done what they need to get done with or without a man in their life.
Hmm.
I think we're proof of that, that it's just if I need to pull out that tree, I'm to figure out a way to pull out that tree. And if I have to do it by myself, I will. Um, I think it helps to definitely. I'm seeing more females as as you drive around town, you see
mhm,
females out doing landscaping, and it just for me as I look back like as a little girl and female mechanics weren't even a thing or female landscapers weren't a thing, but now to see it for like my niece
Hmm.
growing up, she gets to see that and know that she doesn't have to be a Susie homemaker. She can literally be anything she wants to be in this life.
Hmm.
And it's so cool that you're out there doing that to
mhm.
show that to her, or that she gets to even just see that from anybody.
Hmm.
So I think anybody that's going to hire a female needs to look at the big picture, not just, oh, she's a female, she can't do it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and to piggyback, to to attract them, I would say, you know, as for me, it's opened so many doors of my capabilities per se. Because I always wanted a job out in the field, you know what I mean? And I guess to it, I'm just struggling answering this one. I want to say, I don't know how to say it, to be honest. Skip. Skip
Cool.
on that one, I'm sorry.
So I going back a little bit, I know you mentioned starting a business, just in California, super
Mhm.
it's hard to make a profit. What is it? What are some of the things that you have to face living where you're living, starting a business that other states really don't need to face?
Well, right now, the biggest thing is you can't buy gas powered um, tools.
Hmm.
So everything is battery if you buy anything.
Hmm.
So that's very challenging. As I'm sure you know, doing anything with a battery is beneficial. Um, there's a lot of different stipulations too with chemicals and fertilizers and so forth in California. So, I'm still researching a lot into that as to what I can and cannot do just to remain, compliant. But the cost of living here is outrageous. Anything here is outrageous in California to do. So I mean, it's not cheap anywhere to live right now, but especially in California, it's really hard. But we have family that we're leaning on right now to get us by, and
I think too is the cost of living in the state of California is so high, might be even higher than most places, that people want their yard work done because they can't maintain it, but they want it for, $20 a month. Well, I mean, that's not even gonna cover the gas that's gonna take to mow your lawn
Yeah.
and the weeds that it's gonna take,
Yeah.
so they want these huge projects done for super cheap, and that's kind of where they're not looking at. But now, like, if you break it down for them, it's like, well, that could be done for $35 a cut, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I'm out there working and I quote people, and then I realize once I'm out there, because I'm new and I'm learning, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I quoted this a little low. But yeah, you make a very good point on that.
The tool that we use to kind of keep track of like scheduling like that allows us to pull up the property, and you can map it out on what they want you to mow or the estimate based on that. So that's kind of really cool too, to kind of help you and learn how to better estimate, give a better estimate.
And what software is that you're using?
It's Lawn Buddy.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. And how do you like it so far?
It's great. I mean, the free version was fine for the beginning. And now that I'm getting busier, we've changed it to the
Pro or whatever the version is. I was doing all of the estimates by hand. Essentially, I had to go in and create the estimate for each customer. So I was like, I need something that's more a streamlined process, something that I can do in bulk and send out through the app. And that's how we do it. All the estimates, the invoices, everything. I love it. It's so nice.
Now, were you always using technology from the very beginning, or was this something where you're like, we gotta, because I know you said you were writing them on your own for a bit, but when did you make that change? You were like, we really gotta streamline this.
So the funny story is I'm very, very, very old school. I will still to this day write it in the calendar, but it's also in the computer for her. I'm actually a very tech person, so it's ironic that I just everything written in a calendar to me is more permanent, I guess. If the computer falls out apart or the internet goes out, whatever it might be, it's still written in my calendar, so we know. And old school, I know, but
Yeah.
better to have backup than to lose it all. So
Definitely.
Great.
Well, hey, that's great. A lot of people
I like your
talk
poster behind you, by the way.
Oh, you do? You can't really see
Yeah,
it.
mindset is everything. It's true.
He actually has a shark fin.
I
Oh,
knew
look
it.
at that. That's cute.
I wish
I love
it fit.
it.
Yeah, so the only bad thing is
That's great.
I have an outlet here, and I have a switch here.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure why they put these in the middle of a wall, but that's the office I got. So yeah, so we're in Massachusetts, so we're actually I definitely understand the cost of living issue. It's a big. I think we're like right behind you guys with rent price.
Yeah.
I'm outside of Boston.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
So what would your advice be to someone who is just starting out? and doesn't have a single customer yet, but is like, I want to get into this?
Um,
Persistence. Be
yeah,
persistent.
definitely persistent, and have confidence and have good work ethic. Because people will pay for that and they'll notice that and they'll remember you if you have work ethic, because that's the biggest thing. Or the last gardener wouldn't come for weeks or this or that. So, if you just remain consistent and reliable, people are going to remember that. And you don't have to be perfect and know everything about every single plant out there, but remain flexible to learn. And then as far as like finance go, I mean, if you're able to get some sort of business loan or something like that.
Well, I mean, we looked
But
on
we
it.
did the best we could, but I mean,
We got a free lawnmower. I mean, that's
We did.
literally how it started, as a free
you're
lawnmower.
right.
Yeah.
We got you're right. We got a free lawnmower. And that lawnmower still mows lawns today. That's my main lawnmower.
Yep.
Everything else I've paid for. I use Echo gear.
Is it the same
Um,
one on your t-shirt, the mower?
But I would just say, no, actually, this is just a little cheapy clip art one.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I would just say, use the tools you have, literally and figuratively, you know. If you have a rake laying around, use it. If you think you don't know how to trim a rose bush, look it up on YouTube. If it's the tools are out there if you want to use them,
Mhm.
and have faith in yourself. It's limitless out there. You know what I mean? People need gardeners, and
Trees are not going anywhere.
yeah, plants are growing. So don't be lazy and work hard. That's pretty much my motto.
Cool. And I know you mentioned, one of the industry changes you guys saw was just seeing like more females being accepted in the field. What other industry changes do you feel like you've seen, just in general over the last couple years?
I've noticed that a lot more gardeners or landscapers, those who do like lawn care, have also kind of like stepped foot into like pool care just to make ends meet. They're doing, kind of double dipping, like, oh, I'll mow your lawn and take care of your pool
Mm.
type thing.
And is that something you guys have considered?
Yeah, actually, because in the summers here where we're at, it gets over 100 degrees.
Mhm.
And I mean, you're where it snows, so I mean, I don't know if you do, I'm assuming snow, I don't know.
Usually, we've only had
But
2 snowstorms all year.
I've
It's going
thought
to be
about doing
50
like,
this week.
that's what I heard. That's what I
Wow.
heard.
Yeah.
But I've thought about doing pressure washing or window washing or something, just so that I'm not, as strenuous in the middle of 115-degree weather. So
When the grass isn't growing.
occasionally, to be honest with you, I will offer to pick up dog poop, little things like that if people need it. Elderly people or, whatever. Little things like that, it adds up.
Yeah. Now, is there
So,
anything?
but
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, is there anything that now that you have a couple months you're into it, you have a little bit of foresight now, is there anything that you wish you would have known when you started that you could have done right back then that you're like, oh, I feel so stupid having done that now?
Um, yeah, there is a time, so I had 12 trees I needed to peppercorn trees that I needed to trim. So you know how peppercorn trees start growing branches out of the trunk?
Mhm.
So I trimmed about 6 of them, not the top, but I trimmed the trunk with clippers, thinking that it was a closer job, and it was not. And the next 6 trees, I used my hedger, and it was a lot faster. And
Same
I
result.
so work smarter, not harder is my biggest thing. Attention to detail.
And then did you have anything, Christina, that you wish you had just done from the beginning?
Me, from
Sorry,
the beginning, I
Tiffany.
wish that we would have started. That's okay. It happens literally all the time.
It does.
Yeah.
I do wish that we would have started with the invoicing on Lawn Buddy from the very beginning, instead of having to manually do it every time because it's tedious. And when you get a lot of clients, it's super tedious. And because we're both perfectionists, it had to be perfect and looked over with a fine-tooth comb before it got sent out. So I just wish we would have started, not been so frugal on that part.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Spend the money where it's needed, because it's gonna benefit
Your
you
time
in
is
the
worth
long run.
something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, hey, I really appreciate it. That's all the questions I have for you guys. Is there anything else you guys want to add? Some
sure.
parting pieces of wisdom?
Um
No.
no, not really. Just work hard and remain consistent. That's all I can say, and get your stripes in.
Cool. Well, hey, Tiffany, Christina, I really appreciate you guys doing this interview with me and giving me your time tonight. It's really cool what you both are doing. Let's definitely stay in touch. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what comes to you guys. I'm
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
jealous you get to work all year round. Not a thing over here.
That is one benefit of living in
Huge
California.
benefit. Yep.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Thank you for having us.
of course.